Jerusalem is modern, ancient, it's hectic, patient. Jerusalem is a beauty to behold. Its walls are old and domes are gold. Jerusalem is spicy, dynamic, it's iconic, panoramic. Jerusalem is inspiring, unique, it's simple and chic. Jerusalem is brimming with styles, vibrant, charismatic, abundant smiles. Cobblestone streets, colored with sweets. Eclectic orchestra of authentic beats. It's the shuk, the basta, the shawarma. It's all about good karma. It's people, gates and views, culture, art and muse. Jerusalem is tradition, innovation. It's about openness, recreation. It's a city, destination, a goal. Jerusalem is how it feels to behold. It's the knowledge, the courage, the drive to create. It's the source, the spirit, the reflection of faith. Jerusalem is Israel, it's Mediterranean chill. Jerusalem is real.
Thank you for watching this short movie. I will hand over to Naama.
Yes.
Naama,
Could you,
all
yeah,
yours.
yeah, I'm here, but maybe you will take the slide off. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Naama Speter, and I'm the Executive Director of the Graduate Division at the Rothberg International School, Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and I'm very happy to see most of you here. If you have a black screen, please open it and share your face with us. We are starting a webinar on smart cities and geoinformatics as the name of our international MA program. Maybe we will go one by one and you will share with us where you're from and maybe a little bit about what you would like to hear. But first, after me, will speak Dr. Amit Birenbaum, the academic head of the program. Then Shelley and me and I will talk about the requirement, tuition, and student life. Let's start with Julia Lee. I think I know you already, right? I think we've been writing to each other. Yes, Julia, please.
Hello, my name is Julia. Now I'm living in Jerusalem, and I relocated last year, and I made Aliyah in my family, and now I'm looking for a job, and I decided to change my job, and so I decided to start something new, and I'm looking and I'm thinking about to enjoy your program.
Okay, thank you very much, Rafael.
You're muted, Rafael.
Yeah, you're mute. We can't hear you.
I think I'm here by mistake. I thought I was watching a webinar on smart cities, but since I'm an alumnus of Hebrew University, I want to tell all of you that my 2 years at Hebrew University were the best years probably of my life. I was at Yale, I hated it. I was at Free University in Berlin, very mediocre. Hebrew University was by far my best experience in university. So by any means, make sure you borrow, steal the money to study in Jerusalem. It was a wonderful time there.
We still have a webinar.
You made us.
And we still have a webinar after
okay,
this.
Good.
If you want to observe.
That was great. Thank you. Diana? Yeah, but you are on mute. Mute. It's down on the left usually to take it off. Okay, so you won. Maybe we will forward. Oh, okay, Diana. Great.
Okay, I didn't realize I'd be speaking. Okay. I'm a senior citizen, at least physically. I'm a senior citizen. I think I'm young in mind. I'm entering my 40th year since Aliyah in Jerusalem. and I have a good deal of life experience as a young person in Jerusalem, as an older person in Jerusalem. And I can say that perspective does change as you get older and perhaps wiser. And I would very much like sometimes to be taken seriously when I make suggestions, when I see that not everything coming out of the design with design credentials or wonderful degrees really makes sense. So I figured I'd love to learn. And I did spend my junior year at the Hebrew University way back when, okay, when Jerusalem was a little city. So I have seen Jerusalem and the country grow in many, many ways. And of course, with everybody else, we are all, I don't know how to say, called growing pains or whatever, but there's plenty of pain here that has to be dealt with. And onward.
Great, thank you. Wang? Hi.
Hi, I'm actually I was second year program of Smart City, and I'm on the thesis track right now. I highly recommend this program to all those who have interested in. You're gonna learn many urban techniques and basic concept of urban planning and smart city. And Israel itself will be will be used as best one of the best case of smart cities. So I highly recommend this course to all. Thank you.
Yuan is one of our graduates, and she's now doing her thesis. So hopefully graduate this year.
Yeah. Thank you. Martin, Adriel. Martin.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you,
We'll
Martin.
be happy to see you also.
Yeah. I have a question. Is this program possible if I already take a master and then take this master again?
I'll give you a short answer. The answer is yes, but we'll have more time for question later on at the end of the webinar. So, but
okay.
The quick answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me see, who didn't we? Zakaria? Are you with us? Zakaria?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Please let us see you.
Just a while. Where is it? My camera.
Well, if you're not on camera, guys, just
yeah.
you know, let us see. Let us
Hi.
see. Yeah. Hi. Okay, Zakaria, would you say a few words? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yes, I'm a Moroccan researcher in University of Mohammed V in Rabat. I'm here because I'm interested about I talk about smart cities and about using machine learning in my research and about the topic of economics. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Solomon, we are with you. Where is Solomon? Okay. There is one. Okay. Anyone? There are two that it's hard for me to maybe to pronounce your name. One in Chinese, and the other one is I don't know if it's a person because it's a Jeep guy, but if you are real people, please let us know. If not, Dr. Birnbaum, the floor is yours, the academic head of the program.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad that you came and join us. I'll just share the screen with the presentation. And hopefully you can hold. See, 1 second. Okay, I hope that you all see the presentation. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we wanted to do today is to talk about smart city and talk a little about the definition and connect it to the program, our academic program. I serve as the academic head of the program, so I will also be very happy to answer some of your questions if you have about academic issues, and we also have Nama here and Shelly to answer some more administrative issue related to the program. Okay. So we'll talk about smart cities and also about data and how it is related to smart cities. When we talk about smart cities, sometimes it means different things to different people. And there's all kind of buzzwords that you'll see here in these bubbles, like smart environment and buildings and parking and smart transportation and many other things. Anyone, if you would like and want to, if you're not shy and you want to share, it's a moment for you maybe to say, what do you think smart city is for you? If you can just open your mic and say what you think smart city is, I'll give you a few seconds to think. If not, I will go on and see how it goes with you. So anyone want to say what is smart city? What's his thought about smart city, his or her?
Amit?
Yes.
Okay, Atashomea. Okay. A smart city for me. Okay.
Yeah.
A smart city for me is a city that allows me to get around, to do what I want to do without wasting time, with clear instructions, with schedules that really have meaning, with traffic lights that are well coordinated, with with roads that have rules, that there are laws, what kind of vehicles can be on the roads, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Okay, so I really like your approach. It takes the people in the center, puts the people in the center and not other things. And also takes into account not only technology, but also rules and other things, regulation and other things, which are not only technology. I really like this approach. We'll see that I think that some of this definition of smart city goes this direction. Other people want to share their thoughts? Okay, if not, then the first thing, well, when smart city started somewhere in the 2000s, I have some issue with, okay. Many people argue in recent years that it's actually some kind of a growth engine for tech companies. Big tech companies come and they try to make money of technology and they sell it to the cities and just want to make money without much interest in the other people maybe. Some initiatives of smart cities that were built from scratches. We can hear about Songdo in Korea and Mazda, which tried to be the first zero carbon city being implemented in Abu Dhabi, for example, and the Wuhan city implemented by Toyota, still not open, supposed to open next year. In Japan, we try to play with clay. They're not really cities, they're more like districts, and they're trying to test all this novel technology. We'll talk a little bit about these technologies and to implement it in their cities and see how it works and how they can make cities which are better for people. So if we try to think about what is a smart city, I'll show you, I think, from my perspective, how I believe this concept being developed. And the first approach is the one that I just talked about, is looking at the smart city, the digital smart city, focusing mainly, or I wouldn't say only, but mainly technology. A smart city is one that has digital technology embedded across all city functions. So it has a Wi-Fi and smart cameras and smart traffic lights and many smart things where smart is equals technology, and specifically, more particularly, digital technology, information and communication technology, the way we call it ICT. And this is the main thing that runs the city. And when we talk about smart digital technology, we mainly focus on how do we make the city more efficient, how we make greater efficiency in the city, how do we make it more efficient in terms of waste management, electricity, mobility in the city, okay, all these things, and lots of technology that were associated with this smart city notion, where technologies like sensors started to be available, IoT, the Internet of Things, big data, which is already, I would say, old concept now, and more recently we have the AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, and all kind of technologies that we can use, which supposedly is supposed to improve the efficiency of the city, save money, make it more sustainable because we use less electricity and less energy. And this was the main thing of the smart city. And just to give you kind of to show you the big companies that actually took part in this initiative, they still, some of them still on. So for example, Intel, it's only one of her services. They also talked about generating smart lighting, that also have cameras that can also measure the transportation, congestion, and other things. Cisco, a large company, huge company that we're talking about smart waste, how to make smart bins, and how the bins can see how much waste are on the bins, and the trucks that need to come and collect these bins don't need to come every day. They just, when it's full, so on demand collection of bins, or sometimes underground and it's being done automatically. All kind of ways that we can improve the way we manage the city. Lots of the literature or the initiative about grid, the electrical grid. So also IBM is in this field, and things like digital twins that allow you to simulate the city in 3 dimensions and make all kind of simulation that can help you plan in city. So Esri is one of the largest, or the largest supplier of GIS, geographical information systems. So these are just few really examples of how these things evolved since the 2000s. So according to this approach, the first approach of smart city, or smart equals technology, smart cities aims to optimize the city function. It tries to also promote economic growth, and it's using all kind of strategies like improving the accessibility to service, enhancing the safety of people on street, making the infrastructure more efficient, as we saw, and as a consequence, also reducing pollution and making the city more sustainable. So these were many of the things that we're talking when talking about smart cities. And I think here I'm going to maybe some kind of evolution, more recent, that talk about smart cities, and also a bit of critique about these companies that try to sell technology that we are not sure that we need them. We need this technology, and like Diana said, puts the people in the center. So it's, I'll call it the human-centered smart city. In this case, we first need to understand what are the problems. What are the problems of the city? How can we use the technology to improve social and human capital? Can we make smarter, better communities, and make also the city more sustainable? So here the idea is first we understand what is the problem. We don't come with technology that can do something in the city. We first understand what are the challenges, what are the things that we need to solve in the city, and only then we identify which technology can help us. Before that, it was pretty much going the other way around. So all kind of technology, or maybe challenges that we try to face when looking on this approach, as issues of inequality. How do we make the city more equal? Question of smart people. How do we make people improve their well-being, make them happier, improve the social sustainability of the city, dealing with all kind of health concern, overweight, non-infectious disease, and so on and so on. So these are the things, maybe the second phase of this smart city approach. And the third phase that I kind of recognize is those of thinking about smart city is more of an innovative city. And a smart city, and you are really connect to what Diana said in the beginning, a smart city is not necessarily or relies solely on technology. It can leverage technology, it can use technological solutions, but the emphasis here is not about the technology, it's about addressing all kinds of challenges that are unmet and try to find innovative solutions, thinking out of the box, including all kinds of social innovation, which is not necessarily technological. And the ways we can achieve this, and first we need to understand that the city is a very complex thing. So in order to solve these issues, we need to talk to all stakeholders, all type of stakeholders, both residents, the municipality, higher level stakeholders, private sector, all the sectors that are involved in the city. City is a very complex thing. We need to involve all of them in a more innovative way and try all kinds of different solutions. And when we talk about here in this area, so again, we look about the social challenge, the urban challenges that we need to face, and then we need to think how do harness all the stakeholders and make them collaborate and find solutions which are more comprehensive. So we're talking about local solution. We talk about how we make public participate in all the planning procedures. How do you do co-design, design together with the people, for the people, and how do we create solutions which are dynamic and they can change and make the city more resilient? A second. Okay. And this is just one example about how solution can be not necessarily technological. And this is a case from Barcelona. If you're a little bit familiar with urban planning, or you probably heard about this super blocks model. And what was done in Barcelona, more of a pilot, is that they took in the Eixample district, which is a grid-like, that the streets are organized in a grid-like structure. What they decided is they divert some of the traffic from some of the street. Okay, if this is on the left, you see the current model. This is the situation before they implemented super blocks, and there was a lot of traffic, and they decided some of these roads will be more pedestrian friendly. And they do it by closing, not completely closing, but make it more difficult for cars to go through these areas. Okay, and there are main veins of roads where, sorry, main veins where cars can go through, and some roads which are, just a second. Okay, sorry, I'm back with you. And some of the roads which are now that are marked with the green, which are more open to pedestrians. So what happens is this in this model, what are the benefits of using such a model? Is that the green area now allow better social interaction. People can go freely in the street. The social life in the street. It allows active mobility. People can walk and they ride, so it solves all kinds of problems of health problems. Okay, overweight, heart cardiovascular problems. The air is becoming cleaner and it's better for people. The noise is reduced, and it's also encouraged people to use public transport. So all kind of good thing can happen from using these super blocks. This is only a pilot now in Barcelona. But the idea is hopefully they will maybe expand this idea of a super block. And I did a tour in Barcelona. You can see some pictures. Cars can still go through these streets, but that, as you can see, it's much more friendly. People can sit in the middle. They can talk. Children can play soccer on the street. for example. Yeah, so makes nice. And at least for me, this is also something that could be defined as a smart city. So I will conclude this last part of how do I define a smart city. Smart cities, they leverage innovative solutions. They can be technological, but not necessarily. And they can also be social solutions that you see. And the idea is to improve residents' quality of life. At the end of the day, we want to improve the quality of life. If you only improve the revenue of the companies that sell this technology, then I'm not sure that we necessarily do a good job. Maybe the solutions are good, yeah. So now the question, how do we define a smart city? And I want to propose a common way to look at smart cities. And there are, commonly we talk about 6 dimensions of smart cities that we usually refer to. The first one is smart economy. We want economy that will be smart, innovative hubs that people will come and invest in these places. They will support new startups and new innovation solutions. So this is part of the smart economy, digital industries. So mainly high-tech industries, if possible, and sustainable industries, yes. The second part of this smart city, we commonly use, is smart environment. We want that the infrastructure will be green, good waste management, we use renewable energy, and all kind of things that improve the quality of the air, reduce our pollution, reduce our footprint. The third part that when we talk about smart cities is a smart governance. We also want that be able to communicate with especially with the local government. We want our government to make knowledgeable decisions. I'll demonstrate a little bit about this. How do you use data in order to get to decisions? And we want to be able to communicate with our leaders in a good way that everyone can have access and talk to the government. So this is the smart governance. A smart living, so smart homes, suitable for our needs, good healthcare, technology, and facilities, and also education. Smart mobility, which is a big thing in the program. We talk a lot about smart mobility in transportation. How do we make innovative public transportation, transportation that is more sustainable, and all kind of smart management of transportation. And the last thing is smart people. We want to have high human capital in our cities, people who can be innovative, who can communicate with the leaders, who will be engaged with the community, and will be able to have the tools to do all these things and use the things. So there are some indexes that say, okay, how do we take this nice idea of 6 dimensions? Sometimes it's more than 6, but these are the 6 that are most common. How do we quantify this? How do we measure the cities and understand the smart cities? So this is just example. For example, smart, you see 2 examples for smart people. On the more dark orange, and the one on the yellow is smart governance. We take all kind of indicators. For example, smart people. So we look at flexibility, perception of getting a new job. So they ask people, how do you think is it easy to get a new job? And using this answer, they said, okay, you get a score. And this way, they took many cities and make an index and try to rate which city is smarter. And the same they did with smart governance and with all other dimensions. And in practice, there are many such indexes, many ways to rate the cities, how smart they are. This is just a list. I'm not going to go over all this, the list of indexes and articles that did this. But just to get a clue, there's like probably 20 or more indexes of the rating smart cities, which city is smarter. And interestingly, They are not identical. Each one gives slightly different results. Sometimes they are very different in the results, depending on the data that is available to them and on the index that and the factors or variables that they use. And so this is the first one. This is a very common one, Cities in Motions, produced by the business school in University of Navarra. They publish it every year and it's open, so it's very common. Many people use it. They use 114 indicators and 183 cities. And these are, according to the Cities in Motion, these are the smartest city for 2020. We can see London is at the top, New York, Paris, Tokyo, Berlin, Washington, Singapore, Amsterdam, and so on. As you see, big cities in this list. Okay, again, depending on which cities they choose and which indicators they choose. Let's see another example of cities which are smart. This one is the IMD World Competitiveness Center team. And they use some slightly different, they use different cities and different indicators. And they divide it a bit more sophisticated way how they look at the rating. And let's see what their results is it or not. So this is their city on the top: Singapore, Zurich, Oslo, Taipei, Lausanne, Helsinki, Copenhagen, Geneva, Auckland, Bilbao. You see, the cities are quite different. We see 4 or 5 cities which appear in both lists, like Singapore, which is ranked relatively high, usually New York. I think also Amsterdam is in both of them, but some cities are quite different. It's not always simple to decide which city is the smartest. It's really depending on how you define the smart city. If you have any question, by the way, you're really welcome to interrupt and just open your mic and ask a question. I will go to we talked about smart cities, and I want to talk a little bit about the urban informatics, which is the second part of what we learn in the program. And urban informatics it's a suite of analytical tools that people can use, stakeholders can use, and policymakers and data analysts. They can use it, be harnessed in order to make the cities better and to improve the quality of life of people. This is just a few examples of tools that we use in our program, for example, and also use them in others in cities, actually. Geographic information system, which is highly used in our program and pretty much in all municipalities, cities, metropolitan areas, and so on. Urban simulation, remote sensing, machine learning, all these kind of set of tools or platforms that we use in order to learn about our cities. So just one simple example, how we can take these tools. And in this case, we said that in smart cities, we want to improve the quality of life or well-being. And so this is in New York. They use NTA, it's kind of statistical tract in New York. And they use, again, all kind of indicators you can see here on the right, the type of indicators: economic security, health and well-being, education. This is relatively standard census data, as we call. And they use this data and try to rank where is the best, I would say, quality of life or well-being in New York. And when a policymaker looks at this information, they can say, okay, where do I need to put my resources? It really helps you to understand the city and see which are the areas maybe needs intervention and which type of intervention. And data is now more available, as you probably know, available. Sometimes we have too much data, and we can use this data in order to get some decisions. And here is something from a study that I was involved in, I was leading in my lab. This is about walking and walkability in Tel Aviv Metropolitan. So we did a study. This is Tel Aviv Metropolitan. Okay. We see here on the right in B, these are GPS tracks or trajectories. Okay. We took a large data set from Ayalon Highway. They're in charge of the kind of planning transportation in Tel Aviv Metropolitan. 40,000 people took a GPS device or mobile app. They took it with them They were recorded. So we had a lot of data about people in Metropolitan, a very good sample. And we tried to understand, they use it for different kind of things. We wanted to understand things about how people walk and about walkability, which areas are most walkable. They allow you promote walking people. What we found is there's a very strong pattern, and I'll maybe take a second to understand this graph. Here you see the distance on the x-axis, okay, or time in minutes. And what you see here on the y-axis is percentage of routes. So I will give an example. If you see here, there's a big peak here, which is 200 and 400 meters, more or less. So most of the walking trips in the metropolitan of Tel Aviv is somewhere between 200 and 400 meters. They account for like about 16% for 200 meters, more or less 16 or more. And there's a big reduce. What does it mean? It means that many of our trips that we walk are relatively short, 200, 400 meters. And there's a question: do we want to increase or reduce them? Maybe for some people, but it gives you some kind of a clue about how much people walk and how long are their trips, their walking trips. And we can also check if there's difference between males and females. It's a gender difference. We found that there is no difference. You see more or less very same curve. We see some difference between age groups. For example, those who 12 and 17, they have less. If you see here, this is in red, in a black. They have less short trips, but they have longer trips here. So they walk. Their trips are longer actually, and we can do all kind of play with these things. Also see the type of activity, the purpose of the walk, and how does it affect the trip, and so on and so on. And we can also compare between cities. So we can see how people walk in Bnei Brak. They walk their relatively long trips compared to Tel Aviv and to Bat Yam. These are all cities in Tel Aviv metropolitan. And we compare between cities, and we found a very robust pattern. You see that the curve is relatively similar, a very robust pattern of walking trips in Gush Dan, Tel Aviv. This is just another way how you can map these routes. Not very important for our case. And what I wanted to show you, actually, to share with you, this is a work done by our students. Just a few weeks ago, they submitted their final project. And they used a similar data set, already processed data set. And here, what they showed, it was about sustainable transportation. This was the project that it was about in my course. And what they show here is in which statistical tract in Tel Aviv, this is just the city of the metropolitan, just the city of Tel Aviv, and how much people are using different types of modes of transportation. This is mass transit, public transport. Okay, so the red ones show low percentage. The number represents percentage of trips. Okay, so for example, here, very low percentage of trips are done by walking, 6%. Sorry, by mass transit, so public transport. Higher this area along the Ayalon Highway, a higher number of trips done by public transport. It's a main artery where we find public transport. And this is about driving. And this go opposite. So many trips being done in places which are not so accessible for the mass transit. Okay, and we look at the walking. We see again, city center is very walkable, with many of the trips being done by walking. So we can give it to stakeholders, give it to people who plan transportation, want to change something in the city, and they can actually take this picture and use it. I'll give you just another example. Still the same work. They showed how the difference from the city center, how it affects the driving trips or usage of public transportation, the mass transit. And we see that the further you are from the city center, okay, this is the line here, and this is the distance from the center. This is the percentage of driving trips. So the further you are from the city center, we see that the percentage of driving trips increase. I mean, probably people have more opportunity to use the cars, and maybe the public transport is not as good. And we see the other way around when we talk about mass transit. The further you are from the city, less that you use the transit, mass transit less, or use public transport less frequently. this was a bit about smart cities, about urban informatics, a few words about smart cities and urban informatics, about the program itself. But before that, if you have any question, I give you maybe a few seconds to think. If you have any question about what I just presented about smart cities, using data to improve cities, so I'm happy to answer specifically about this. Yeah.
I would like to ask, how did these patterns change seasonally?
Which patterns of the walking?
Yeah, walking, public transport, car using, winters, summer, and so on.
As far as I remember, what we found was there were not huge changes. Of course, in winter, in summer, I think there were reduction in walking trips in some places. So we did find something. I just remember the numbers, but they were not like huge differences.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some, of course, nuanced differences in summer because it may be very hot, so people reduce it. Some in the winter, in rainy days, you can check specifically in rainy days and you see some changes. But overall, when you look about the trends, they were relatively similar. They were relatively similar trends. There's and slightly differences probably between areas, I mean, district in the city. Places which are served better with the public transport, and then people can say, okay, today I will go with public transport, but maybe it's raining, so maybe I will change. So again, it's more nuanced changes. More questions?
Amit, can you speak a little louder?
Yeah,
it
sure.
was difficult for me to hear you.
Okay, sure. So I want to talk a little bit about the program itself, what we do in the program. Again, it's more of the academic issues. We'll have then Shelly, Nama will talk more about the administrative aspect of the program. So what we try to do in this program, we want to equip the new people, the new urbanists, and also policymakers. Some of our graduate, I think, not necessarily go to urban issue or affairs, maybe something similar in the public sector or in private sectors. And we want to equip them with the new knowledge and toolbox to address this changing ecosystem, I would say. We also want to equip our graduates with all kind of analytical skills, state-of-the-art analytical skills that are being implemented. I think that could be implemented even more in cities, and maybe get ready to what's coming on next with all the new data, AI, and things that will come very soon. And in general, we want to improve cities, make it more livable, improve the quality of life of people. Important here in this size, it's relatively, I would say, thin in the sense that it's a one-year program. You go through a lot of both technical but also thematic and courses. Talked also about technology, and I think one of the interesting thing about this program is that we also go out. We do have regular frontal class that you come in the lab. We have lab classes where you have practicals. We have field work and field trips that we go out and meet with people and see things happening and get familiar with people. Some of the lecture also bring all kind of stakeholders to the class, and they sometimes judge your works and get feedback from people from the field. And we also go outside of the classroom a few times every semester, several times. And we learn things like GIS and talk about smart cities in general, and also about social justice, not only about technologies, and about quality of life. And we have projects which are more practical. So we really try to take data and use it to solve real world problems in our program. And if you ask why us, I think this field is growing. This smart cities, this usage of data, the growing field. We believe it's already on demand, but it will be more in the near future. It's one of the only one in Israel, only MA program in this field, but one of the only programs in this approach, I think, in the world. it's also what we use in these degrees. We take all kind of strengths of existing programs that we have in Jerusalem, especially in the geography department where I come from. You're going to come and learn in university is ranked among the top 100 universities in the world. So I think it's a good place to come and learn about these issues. As you saw in the beginning, in the nice movie that we saw in the beginning, experience Jerusalem, an exciting city, exciting urban environment, and also a vibrant city. It has a high-tech ecosystem, whether Intel, Mobileye, Movie, all kind of things in terms of high-tech, which are promoting, especially in smart transportation. And again, like learning abroad, experience this in Jerusalem, I think it's a unique experience that I can only recommend. What do our graduates, where do we see them get involved and find themselves at the end? I think both in public sector and private sectors, in planning, but policy making, but also in places where they do some startups with the new technologies that needs knowledge in spatial data, know the city. These also places. For me, this time time for questions.
I think that before we start with questions, let's give Amit a chance to drink some water, and maybe we will move
maybe
to
Naama and Shelly.
Yeah.
Naama and Shelly, and then we'll come back to some question to Amit. So maybe a tea will work with you.
Right. Shelly, can you add the presentation? Okay. So, next one. Sorry, I can't do it. Okay. Well, let me tell you, for those of you who don't know or not familiar with the Hebrew University, the Hebrew University has 6 campuses to around 23,000 students. And I'm sure you know the names of the founders, like Albert Einstein, Sigmund Freud, Martin Buber, and other. And we have among our alumni, we have Nobel Prize recipient, we have Knesset member, with Israeli Supreme Court judges and famous authors. Okay. So the Rothberg International School is the oldest and the largest overseas, it was founded in 1955. We have around 2,500 students from 75 countries annually. Believe me, to walk in the corridor and to hear all the language, it's really great. We have the, can you change the, thank you. Just to, so you'll know, we have 7 international MA program that we are talking now about smart cities and urban informatics, but we also have MA nonprofit management and leadership, MA in Israel studies, MA in Islamic and Middle Eastern studies, MA in archaeology and ancient Near East, MA in Jewish Studies, and MA in Babel and Ancient Near East. The tuition fee is for international students who are coming from abroad is $11,400. For Israelis, it's 31,229 shekels. But we do have scholarship. We have special scholarship for Smart City for this program. So if you would like to apply for a scholarship, this is just after you register, after you apply to the program, you can apply for a scholarship. We'll be happy to award you.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry.
Can I ask a brief question about the PhD opportunities after this MA?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, we will be able to help you with that question. Okay, Rafael?
Okay. Okay, well, I said the scholarships are available, but we have housing at the student village. It's on-campus housing, and we have apartment with private bedrooms, and it's nice because you will be able to meet other international students, but also Israeli students. So it's a nice place over there with a green place, I would say. We have internship opportunities available. If you'd like, you can go to apply to go to organization and to have an internship there. So that is also open for you. Yep. Shelley. Now, let me introduce you to Shelley Vogel. Shelley is the admission coordinator of the division, of the graduate division, and she will tell you more about admission requirements.
Hey, hi everyone. It's nice to meet everybody. Some of you I've already been in touch with. So admission requirements for this program, we need a bachelor's degree from an internationally accredited university with a minimum of 3.2, which is a B or the equivalent. We also ask for a CV, a statement of purpose, explaining why you'd like to join this program, and the 2 academic recommendations. You also need to do an English proficiency test, unless you have studied in a university where the sole language of instruction is English. And here you see on the screen the scores that you need for the three different types of English tests.
Would you continue?
Okay, so I mean, Amit has already covered most of this slide, so I'll just go through it very briefly. This MA will give you the knowledge and skills for the development of the smart city. You get to study in Jerusalem, which is a leading smart city. And as Amit already explained, you go out to the field and you learn from companies and organizations that are working to improve and make Jerusalem a smart city. And we have here career opportunities, which we've already covered. So we have our alumni go into national and municipal government, urban planning and policy making, transportation and infrastructure agencies, amongst many others.
Okay, so student life here, very rich. You get to go to visit, to go on trips around Israel. You listen to lectures from around the world, and get to have and to share meals with the Israelis and Israeli families, or among yourself as students at Shabbat dinner, and also holiday meals like Pesach, if you know what it is, and so on. Activities, you do have activities among the international students, but also with Israeli students. For example, we have the buddy program, which Israeli student and international students are studying and active together. So, and let me tell you, our division is always, will be always open for you. It's we will walk with you step by step if you need so. It's not just until you apply and you will be accepted, but also afterwards. It's one of our best leading MA program, and we want you to succeed. We want to be proud of you. So we will do everything in our power to help you succeed. I can only tell you as a curious, that just this year, two of our students, well, I would say the two of the lecturers, instructors, recommended two of our students to a very highly positions, and they were accepted. So, that's also an opportunity, and we would love if you can find a job. Of course, we don't promise anything, but we hope that by doing network through the program, you will be able to be in touch with the organizations and directors from this field. Yeah. Right? And here we come to the question and answer. Amit, I think there was some question or one question on the chat, if I saw before, but the floor is open to question to Amit or to us.
Just let me repeat the question that Rafael asked. I think I got also an answer, but let us be sure. The question was, did the pattern change seasonally, meaning of walking and so on?
Yeah, you answered.
Okay, good. I just
I
want to
have
recap.
another question. What PhD avenues are open after this MA for students, graduates?
I can tell you that we have two tracks in the MA program. One is the regular track, and one is in the MA track with the thesis. So those of you who will choose the thesis track, and if you're interested, I can explain a bit more about the requirements. Those of you who finish with the MA thesis can go for pretty much any university, for sure in Hebrew University, but any other university, you will be able to continue with the PhD track. Again, you need to get some kind of grade and change from one university to another. But if you complete your degree with the MA thesis, you will be able to be accepted in Israel and in the Hebrew University for sure, but also pretty much everywhere in the world in this topic. Of course, you're not going to be taking a PhD in rocket science, but maybe in the social science with humanities, usually it should be a big problem.
Any other question? I think we did a good job if they don't have any question.
I have one final question. 20 years ago, there weren't air conditioning at Hebrew University. Is it different now?
Thank God, yes.
There was no such a climate like 20 years ago. I mean, nowadays.
It's true. In few years ago in Jerusalem, some apartments did not have air conditioning. It's not common nowadays. It's also another reason why smart cities should promote more sustainable cities.
Another question.
Yes.
What campus do you operate out of?
Oh, Mount Scopus Mountain.
Okay.
And just
Mount
you know,
Scopus campus, I meant.
Those of you.
By the way, sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead, Amit.
So the program is designed in such a way that there are 2 full days of studies. So you actually need to be present in these 2 days, and then their assignment and work at home. But then you also have time if you want to experience Jerusalem and Israel. You have more time if you're efficient with your home assignments. But you need to be present in the campus for 2 days, 2 full days, morning till early evening.
There is a question here from Jawad. I will repeat. I have lost connection. Well, welcome back. What are the primary challenges you anticipate in implementing smart city initiatives?
So like I said, and I started, I think that sometimes you bring technology, but you don't know how it will really affect society. And we see we can find an example like this. You want to maybe this is a more technical one, but you want to improve the waste bins, like in Barcelona, but then you see that you have all kind of technological problems that this bin doesn't work, and at the end of the day, it might cost you even more. How people will accept this. Sometimes people don't accept these new technologies, they don't want to use it. And sometimes maybe they accept, the people accept this technology, but it doesn't do the effect that you want. And it has other side effects of the technology. And that's why I think many of the solutions that we want to implement, we do it step by step. You need to first do some pilots and play with it, see how people really accept the technology. Or again, it can be technology, but can be also a social solution, and see how it reacts. Complex systems, they react sometimes unexpectedly, sometimes on the opposite way that you want them to act. So this is why we usually go step by step and try the solutions slowly, implement them slowly. And this is, I think, the major thing. You just don't know how this complexity will react to new technologies.
Guys, I uploaded a poll asking you regarding your plans. So I'm giving you 2 more seconds and I'm going to show it to you guys, just so you know. It's very interesting seeing when do you want to study? Here, check this one out. See? Like 50% of you guys want to start really now in 2024, which is good. And I say grab the opportunity. We're being very generous with scholarships, extremely generous, much more than next year. And also, it's going to be a very meaningful year, in my opinion, I think, in all of our opinions. So grab it as fast as you can. Okay? And then I can see some of you want to study on fall 2025, spring 2025. Spring's a nice time as well. Fall next year, highly recommended. Any more questions?
Just a logistical part from my side. We will send a recording of this session during the week. So stay tuned.
And if you have any questions, always can be both academically, but also administratively, don't hesitate to contact me. I will I usually answer quite fast.
Amit, if you want, you can write in the chat your personal email. That would be wonderful.
Definitely.
If you guys really want, I can give you my WhatsApp, but you don't really want to, do you? Some of you have
email. You can always contact me, and sometimes I also have Zoom meetings to talk more deeply if you have some more things that are maybe hard to explain on the email. So you're always welcome, and I know that Shelly and Nama and her team always do a great job to answer your more administrative issues as well. So don't hesitate. We're here for you.
Great. I also want to let you in a small secret that we know some of the people that registered for next year. Some of them are alumni of Hebrew U, and they're really top notch. So you really want to join them. They're fun, they're cute, they're good, bright, younger students. So it's worthwhile.
I also left my email just in case someone wants an impartial opinion on the Hebrew University experience. I live in Berlin now. I'm Italian, but you know, if you're, I will tell you the truth, and you know, so you can trust me. I'm not paid by Hebrew University to praise it, so you can write to me whenever you like.
What did you study, Rafael?
I did a master's in political science.
Ah, an Hebrew, the 1-year program?
No, I did it in the regular university. I was one of the few non-Jews back then who was in the regular university, not
Amazing. And your experience from 1 to 10?
There's no number there. It would be about 10.5 or 11, but you only said.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. You made my day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Toda rabba. Okay. Hope to see you guys, or some of you, next year in Jerusalem. Come and have a beer with us. Okay.
We're waiting for you here.
Take care.
Night. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.